When you're in year 6 and you're about to leave to go to your secondary school, you normally do like a leaving play, which is normally quite a big thing. I don't really know why. I guess it was a normal thing in my school. I don't know if it was a normal thing throughout. But yeah, anyway, so we did a play, and I think it was like on the Roman Empire, or I don't really know what it was, but I do remember that I had a part, and my part was to come onto stage and blow this horn and then just announce someone's arrival. Now, I was a shy kid, I didn't really talk too much, and I was petrified of the stage. I didn't really know that until I got on the stage, but I remember jumping on that stage, being, I've gone over my lines multiple times, and again, it was very small. Went over my lines again and again and again, and I got on stage, blew the horn, and then I looked at the crowd, and oh my gosh, I just froze, absolutely froze, and I got off and I cried, and yeah, it was just another thing in my head going, oh fucking hell, you're a piece of shit, sort of thing. I remember after the play, Mr. Wilkinson, or Mr. Wilkins, very tall guy, glasses, ginger hair, very intelligent, and he came and he gave me a hug and he was like, oh, you done great. And so I'd had him as a one-to-one teacher like a year or so, or 2 years prior, and he was my first one-to-one teacher that I can remember, but I had loads after, but he had a massive impact on me, and seeing him again for the first time in quite a long time, it was really, really nice. Funny enough, when I went into secondary school, again, I didn't change that much. I was still quite shy. I was even worse probably in the first year. But I met a few teachers, and one of them, Miss O'Doherty, was my drama teacher for a while, and Mrs. McCormack as well. There was a lot of switching out. Anyway, drama became one of my favourite subjects to do. Not only because I was fairly decent in it, but I was just interested in it, and I think that I felt comfortable within that class. I remember I had a report card, and basically what would happen is, I've only been on report once ever in school, but it was for a really, really long time. And basically what the report card is you go in and you hand it to your teacher, and at the end of the class they will sign, out of 5 different behaviourals, right? So room for improvement, not great, good, great and excellent, right? So depending on what you do. And I remember every time I stepped into my drama class and handed my report to my teacher, Miss O'Doherty, she would sign excellent and hand it back to me straight away. And that always made me feel really good. It always made me feel really good because she had put trust in Michael, right? And I think that as a kid, I was always, as a kid, you always expect to give the respect or the, trust first, and then it's reciprocated. But she gave me the trust first. And, not that I should have got that, but I just felt like at that time as a kid, I just needed it. And she gave me that. And when she gave me her trust, I fully respected that. And, even if I felt to be a bit of a loose wire in her class, I would actively remind myself that she trusts me not to. It's funny talking about drama, because again, I cried and I left off stage in year 6, but I remember in maybe the end of year 8, maybe the start of year 9, we done like a little play, but like in class, and it was basically showing that you're like losing someone, or you've lost someone, And well, my dad had cancer already, and so I think those emotions were very real for me. But basically, I was able to sort of cry, and it felt very real for me. Uh, but obviously, to everyone else, I was just acting. But I think for me, it wasn't. I was just very good at eliciting those emotions because I was already going through it, kind of. Um, and I remember my teacher, Miss McCormack, I believe it was at the time. She was like, "Did anyone feel uncomfortable when Cameron was crying?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, like it's upsetting. You know, you feel uncomfortable because it's so, you know, seems so real." But in fact, it was real. I just played it off as acting. I remember I had a one-to-one teacher in a secondary school, and he couldn't spell. And it was really nice to have someone that scribes for you. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's basically that I was able to talk and they would just basically put it down. And it was kind of funny because, you know, like there were certain things that he couldn't spell and stuff like that. And it made me really appreciate him a hell of a lot because I'm like, "Roll, like this guy's doing a job that I would dread, and he's struggling, you know, similar to how I do." And yeah, he was the person that taught me to spin a pen around my finger, and doing this got me out of a lot of trouble, and sometimes got me into trouble. But for the most part, it kept me out of trouble, kept me entertained on one thing. School was a very strange place because everything that it judged me by or you know the way it taught me was terrible. But I loved it. Like school, in on itself, was a really um, big thing for me to have learnt a lot of stuff. But it wasn't from the education; it was just more from the people there. You know, I remember like not wanting to leave school. I remember coming in really early and you know brushing my teeth in the toilets and stuff like that, and like getting ready. I remember I'd like sometimes come in so like as soon as those gates open, and I'd try and avoid all the teachers that are coming early so they wouldn't ask me questions. And then I remember trying to stay as late as possible to the point where there'll be teachers telling me to go home. It, it's a very weird relationship I had with school, but overall, I think I had a really good time at school. It's just unfortunate that I was um, judged or tested on something that I was terrible at. Anyway, I'll talk to you